Straight Talk with your host Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, simply straight talk.
Hey, what's up, Angelique? What are you up to?
I'm sorry. Who am I speaking with?
It's me, Reggie. You know who I am.
Well, looky who it is. I'm surprised you remember me.
Oh, come on. It's only been like 2 weeks. Good grief. Come on now. Anyway, what are you up to?
I'm just watching a reality show about people competing to become famous.
You know what? It seems like that's the thing now. Everybody wants to be rich and famous, but nobody has any real desire, or like really sincerely want to help anybody else.
Well, I don't think anyone wants to struggle their entire life.
So are you saying that people should only focus on money, right? That's what you're saying?
No, that's not what I said. I'm saying that people want to live comfortably, but their happiness should not be centered around fame and fortune, man.
I agree. But I think a lot of men respond that way because women prefer men with money and fame. Come on now, you know that.
Wait. You know that comment sounds like you're accusing all women of acting like gold diggers, right? Why would you say that?
Well, I will admit it's not all women, but it does happen quite often with some women.
Seriously? Are you trying to get a rise out of me? We haven't spoken in 2 weeks, and you're calling me to pick a fight? And by the way, men are not so innocent either.
I miss our talks, but you're right. I think money and fame is publicized so much that people miss out on the parts of life that really do bring out inner peace and true happiness.
You see, now that was well said, and I can agree with you.
Actually, I think you should always agree with me because, as far as I know, I'm always right. Like right now.
Shall I fact check that statement?
Fact check what?
Do you really want me to rewind the tape on how many times you have been wrong?
See, that's why you my friend, my homie, my ride or die. But you still get on my nerves sometimes.
Oh, you love your beige body. Oh, anyway, I'll talk to you, I guess, in another 2 weeks.
Welcome to Simply Straight Talk with your host, Reggie Maddox. So don't get scared. You know we all about that real talk on the Simply Straight Talk show.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Simply Straight Talk show. This is your host, Reggie Maddox. And man, as always, every day, every show, we always got a great topic for you, man. And today we got another topic, and I gotta talk about this because I'm seeing it every day on social media. I'm seeing it on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, because the bottom line is everybody wants that pop life, that glamorous life. You know what I'm saying? I hear so many people talking about what they're going to do when they make it. When they get to that point that they make it, everybody's got an idea of what it's going to be like and what they're supposed to do. And that's what I want to talk about today, is when everybody wants that pop life, when everybody gets to that point in life to where they feel like they have made it. And when I say pop life now, and we talking about the glamorous life, that's people who want to say, you know what? I reached the point to where I'm successful, I'm rich, I'm famous. Everybody knows my name. Everybody want to hang around me. Everybody want to see me. You want to be me. But what happens, man? So what is it that make people feel like they got to reach that pop life? What's wrong with your life right now? Now, I get that everybody may not be on the same financial level. Okay, I get that. I totally get that. Everybody ain't got the same amount of paper in their pockets. Everybody's bank account ain't flowing with the same numbers. Everybody can't go to a high-end store and buy whatever they want to do. But what is it that makes people want to be famous? What is it that makes people want that pop life? That glamorous life where everything they wear is like $1,000 and up. Every restaurant they eat in, people flocking to them. What is it that make people want that? Because I hear a lot of people on social media, man, who are saying stuff like, when I make it, don't come holler at me. Don't try to be a part of my crew. Oh, y'all gonna regret y'all didn't do this or wish y'all would have said that. Everybody's talking about things that people in their life right now should be doing but not doing. They're talking about people that they feel that don't support them, people that aren't there for them, that I guess they feel should have been there for them. They're talking about relationships with people that probably should have been, on point, but for some reason the relationship, end up breaking up, going the wrong direction. So everybody's got something to say about this. Everybody's got some feelings about this. So the thing about it is, what is it that makes everybody want that pop life? Why everybody want to be on top like that? Now, in my personal opinion, I really feel like reality TV and social media promotes wealth and fame like nothing else when I was coming up. And I understand, I'm going to kind of show my age a little bit, when I was coming up, there really wasn't any, Instagram, iTunes. You didn't readily, you couldn't just hop on the internet and just see stuff like you're seeing now. And it's amazing how many people work so hard on their posts now to post stuff to make it look like they're rich, like they're famous, like they got all this money. And people go out of their way to take pictures with fancy cars, or if they're at somebody else's house, or they're staying in a hotel, just a hotel for a night. They try to get the most fanciest room to front like they got this, real fabulous lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? They want to take TVs at store with the biggest TV, like, hey, I'm about to buy this TV, or I'm about to buy this Lamborghini, or I'm about to roll out in this yacht. They taking pictures of other stuff, of stuff that's on sale or stuff that's for sale, and they're trying to make it seem like it's theirs. They're taking tours of houses, taking pictures around the house or short video clips to make it seem like they about to buy this $1 million house or this big house. And really and truthfully, they're not even leaving their apartment. They got their leases for a whole nother 2 years. So they ain't going nowhere. But that's the thing about it. And I think a lot of people are doing this because we have a lot of things. You got a lot of TV shows that are really advertising this. And when you look at a lot of the famous people now, let's be honest, when Cardi B, did her social media, Cardi B's social media is mainly about the stuff she's getting. I remember when she was having the baby and everybody was sending her that free stuff, she's on there just like, yeah, look at this. My baby got these shoes. These are $1,000 shoes. These are $2,000 jackets, $3,000 worth of jewelry. And you got people at home who's about to have a baby that can barely afford diapers. And you're up here talking about $1,000 shoes for a baby and all this type stuff. Many of the celebrities. Now, I'm not trying to knock anybody. Hey, I like T.I. I think T.I. is a cool dude. I don't know him in person, but from what I see, T.I. does try to give back to the community. But even T.I.'s website, his social media stuff is all about, his looks. Because pretty much they all have some sort of brand or some sort of clothing line they're trying to sell. So they're marketing that clothing line, which is normally clothes that the average person can't afford. But it's all about that rich and famous look, that rich and famous appearance. And a lot of celebrities are promoting this over social media. One group of celebrities, which I honestly tell you right now, I can't stand to this day, is the Kardashians. Stupidins. But Kardashians, let's keep it respectful. They really do, everything about them is about how much money. We're traveling here, we're traveling there, first class, private planes. And when our younger generation sees this, they begin to feel like, oh, this is the life that I'm supposed to have. I'm supposed to be famous for no reason, and yet I can have all these things. So people want the glamorous and pop life based on what they're seeing from other people that's currently in that, sharing that their lifestyle. But they're not sharing real life. They're sharing an image, and people are buying into the image of what they assume real life, that pop life is, that being famous is about. They're seeing the after effects, and that's what people are buying into. When you think about shows like Love and Hip Hop, Real Housewives, Black Ink Crew, The Voice, and American Idol, these are more shows that really just really emphasize nothing but money and fame, money and fame. That's all they really promote. They don't promote anything else. It's all about money and fame. And when you consider how many people drive a BMW or Mercedes and they can barely afford the maintenance on those vehicles because it's really expensive. They're buying them because of the names, because they're trying to portray an image. And then we got people who's buying Escalades, Hummers, and big trucks and only putting $15 or $20 worth of gas in the tank, which doesn't take you anywhere. But that's because they can't afford to really fill up the tank. It's an image that they're buying into. And it's the same image that's being portrayed by a lot of people, that they have this grand lifestyle, that everywhere they travel, it's the best of the best hotels. They get the best of the best food, the best of the best service. They wear the best of the best clothes. And people are trying to copy this image, and they're striving to be a part of this image, only to find out that they really can't afford that lifestyle. So people are looking for any means necessary to take a shortcut to see about getting to that lifestyle. And when they do that, all they end up doing normally is putting themselves in debt. People are craving for fame and fortune for several reasons. And the reason that they're craving this, everybody has their own reasons for what they want in life and what they want to get out of life. But when you're trying to achieve something, are you really looking to achieve something that's beneficial, that's going to be long term? Are you thinking about, what is it you're really trying to accomplish with this? Or are you just saying, listen, I want to be famous. I want the fortune and I want the fame. But what are you really asking for? You got to really think about this stuff, because I look at a lot of our young people, man, and today's society has such a drive that rich and famous is the way to go. Rich and famous. That's how you have to live these days. You have to be rich. You have to be famous. And if you're not rich and famous, then you're nobody. And that's how they treat it. They treat it like you're nobody. But a lot of our younger generations are seeing these people, because you had LeBron James at one point, who just to make an announcement of what team he was going to, had this big chair sitting out there like he was some king and people sitting around him. And just to come on and say, I'm going to Miami. It's stuff like that that gives people the wrong impression about life and what life is really about. But people are pursuing this pop life and this glamorous lifestyle without understanding what it really is and what it's really about. Because I don't think people understand that being rich, yes, it will make your life easier in some ways. And a lot of us say right now, hey, I will take the rich life versus the poor life. But think about how many celebrities who have been rich and famous, who have committed suicide. I mean, when you think about Robin Williams, David Carradine, you have a lot of people out there who has this whole life, which we dream about. And we're asking ourselves, why are you committing suicide? And we're going to get into some of that too, because I don't think people realize that, yeah, I understand. Trust me, I understand. I am not a rich man. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to get out here and be on the grind. I know what it's like to be homeless. I know what it's like to struggle. So I am not the one to sit here and tell you because rich people will say, you know what? And I hate when they hear them say this. Oh, well, let's trade places. Because people like us are real quick to say, well, God dang it, let's swap bank accounts right now then. Because I guarantee you get my bank account and you'll probably be done within the next probably 2 hours. And a lot of us are like that because we're paycheck to paycheck. So I really do understand the fact that we see the need to have more financial gain in our life. But what is it when you want more than financial gain? You're not just saying, I need more money. I want more money so I can do more things. I can accomplish what things I need to accomplish. I can provide a better life for my family. It's another thing when you're saying, but I need to be famous as well. I need notoriety. I need people to recognize me. Are you really wanting that because you're going to do something beneficial? Or are you just saying, I need fame and fortune because I want to prove a point? I want to prove a point to everybody that didn't believe in me. Every woman that broke up with me, that hurt me, that cheated on me. And for a woman, she can say for every man that broke up with her, that cheated on her, that dogged her out. For every family member that didn't support me or believe in me. For every so-called friend that walked out the door, didn't stand by me. For everybody that didn't believe in me. For people, because people and this is something that I've talked about, and I never brought fame into it, but I've always noticed how people will say they support you. And I tell people, I said, listen, some of the people that will support you in what you do is not going to be your family. You'll be really surprised that if you start a business and you go on social media, you're like, hey, I just started this business, you will have more support from strangers than you will from family and friends. Family and friends may like it, but they won't share it and spread it, whereas strangers will. I got people that I have never met, who will retweet, who will repost stuff I say, who will ask other people to check out my work, and never have I had any family or friend do that on their social media accounts. So you can't depend on family to be your biggest supporters. And some people want fame and fortune so they can say, look, I did it. I made it. If you remember that TV show, the movie Roscoe Jenkins with Martin Lawrence, that was a perfect example of where the family dynamics drove one member of the family to go out and do something. But what he did, it was an underlying issue with the fact that he came back and said, it's about the team of me was the theme that Martin Lawrence created behind that character. The team of me, not his family, not his friends. It was the team of me. And that was his thing. So when he came back around his family, it was about him. It was like, I did it because nobody else believed in him. He wanted to prove a point. But sometimes when we go out our way to accomplish something, to establish fame and establish fortune, we can become a different person. We can get that pop life. We can live that glamorous life. But something about it is going to make a change in you. Are you willing to be able to recognize the fact that you're changing for the good, or are you changing for the bad? So what is it about the glamorous and pop life that changed you, that made you become this different person? See, things like this occur when we talk about everybody want that pop life, because people do, man. People want to be on top. People want to be recognized, noticed. They want that fame and fortune. They want when they walk into a hotel, crowds gather. When they walk into a restaurant, they rush to get them a table. Everybody wants to cut them a deal. Take a picture with me. Sign an autograph with me. When you want that pop life and that glamorous life that everybody wants right now, what are you really trying to get from it? And when we come back, we're going to talk about some reasons that people crave the glamorous life. Some reasons that people, what things people don't realize about fame, what they don't understand about it. So we're going to talk about that and dig a little bit deeper into this topic. So we'll be right back, right here on the Simply Straight Talk Show.
You're listening to Simply Straight Talk.
Hey, are you looking for some great music, upbeat and with a positive voice? Well, the song I Stand With You is exactly what you need. This timeless song has a pop version sung by Audrey Carmel. And a reggae version sung by General Steele, now known as Revelation.
Now I know some days you may feel blue, Lord. Trust in your greatness to see you through.
These songs are now available on iTunes and other digital platforms for download. Don't miss out. Get your copy today.
Give life your best, and I know.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
Hey everybody, thank you for sticking with us right after the break, and we're going to jump right into this because right now what we're talking about is everybody wants that pop life. Everybody wants that glamorous life. Now, when we're talking about pop life and glamorous life, you know what we're talking about. Everybody wants that fame, that fortune, that hype. They want to be recognized, notarized. They want everybody to acknowledge that they done made it in life. But here's the thing. What do you accomplish by that? What are you really making? Are you making good use of what you accomplish? Now, here's what we want to do. Let's talk about a few reasons. Now, there are various reasons why people, want fame and fortune. They want that pop life. Some people are just tired of struggling. We all understand that, man. You know what I'm saying? We all out here feeling the grind. Some people want to improve want to improve and help others, but they also want people to give them respect. You know what I'm saying? And also, like we said earlier, make folks who didn't acknowledge them before acknowledge me now. Look at me. I did it. What you got to say? Some people have that type of mentality. Some people just want revenge. They want the power that comes with fame and fortune. You know what I'm saying? They want the power so they can go back and wreak havoc on those who they felt wreaked havoc in their lives from the past. Some people like the attention. Some people, they just like being noticed. And they want to be noticed. They want the world to recognize them. And some people just have that attitude about them when it comes to fame and fortune. You know what I'm saying? It's about that pop life. Now, here's some things that we don't realize about fame, or what people don't really want to acknowledge about it. Number one, you have no private life. When it comes to fame and fortune, man, you really have no private life, because your life changes. As much as you probably want to say, I'm going to stay the same. No, you're not. If you go from that brother making $50,000 or $40,000 a year to that brother making $10 and $20 million a year, your life is going to change. And one of the biggest stories I think about is the brother that played in the original Ghostbusters. He said, before he just stayed in a regular house, and everybody else had a fence around their yard, and they told him he needed to get one. He said, but after he started becoming famous and got known, he had to fence in his house because people were just knocking on his door. You know what I'm saying? Your life is going to change. You no longer have a private life. Another thing about fame, it's not about what you are going through. It's not about you at all. Because as far as the fans see it, it's about them. No matter what you're going through, you could have had a death in the family. You could have had your wife could be pregnant. You trying to get to the hospital. Many fans had an attitude of, when I see you, you owe me a picture, you owe me an autograph. And if you don't, they start smashing you through social media. They start talking about, oh, you arrogant, you stuck up. You might be trying to have a quiet dinner with your family, your wife, your daughter, your husband, your kids. But people want autographs. They can't respect the fact that you're eating. You know what I'm saying? And for some people, man, fame can be an addiction. And you see it. When you see people like Nicki Minaj, when she realized she was starting to fall off. A lot of celebrities can't handle the fact that when they're starting to fall off, that people no longer have an interest in them. They don't know how to deal with that. When the when the bookings stop, the phone calls start coming. You go from doing grand venues like Wembley and Madison Square Garden to doing little house shows. A lot of them can't handle that. And I don't think people realize how lonely a lot of famous people are. Because when you have fame and fortune, you got a lot of people who want to be associated with you and known as your friend, but they have no intention of being a true friend. Because right now, their whole connection to you is based on what you have available. And many of us understand that. Many of us right now, if you're a supervisor, you're going to have people that are cool with you just because you're a supervisor, because they feel like you can get them a good evaluation. I've dealt with that. I was a director at a job. And I had a whole bunch of friends. But once I wasn't the director anymore and I went to another job, them cats didn't even know me, dog. They didn't know me at all. You know what I'm saying? So you got to realize that fame comes with ups and downs. It comes with aspects of fame that are good and aspects of fame that are bad. And I think people overlook the criteria of fame that a lot of celebrities aren't able to really come back from. It tears them apart. They can't deal with it, especially the ones who become addicted to the fame and notoriety. They don't know how to deal with it. Now, these are just my personal definitions that I want to share with you, because personally, I believe there are two types of fame. Okay. The first one I want to talk about is what most people pursue. This is what 90%, this is my opinion now, that 90% of America is pursuing this type of fame. Okay. And it's called active fame. Okay. Now, this is my definition. Active fame describes people who are used to represent or illustrate another person's work. This also includes competitive fields such as sports. In other words, we're talking about actors. We're talking about the people that's on the stage giving the speeches. A lot of times when you hear these congressmen and these presidents give speeches, someone else has written that speech. And that person becomes notarized, but not in the public eye. Active fame is those people who everybody see every day. When you do concert, these are the people you see. You see that main singer. You see those athletes on the fields, on the basketball court. You know, the people giving speeches. These are the people you see because they make them the face of an organization. And many people want to be the face, and that's how they see fame. You can only be famous if you are the face of the organization. But now, that's active fame. The other form of fame I want to talk about is called the intellectual creative fame. Now, intellectual creative fame is not often pursued or even seen because it's not visibly glamorous. You know what I'm saying? You don't get that glamorous pop life response from it. Okay, now this refers to people who have a creative skill that is often used to highlight those in the active fame category. For example, I'm talking about like screenplay writers, music producers, doctors, lawyers, anesthesiologists, CG artists and animators, makeup artists, and software engineers. And, you know, when you think about it, when people go to Disney, they enjoy the rides. They enjoy Disney's movies. But you got to realize something. It is the software engineers that kind of create what Disney brings to life. I mean, that's from movies to the rides at Disney parks, government contracts. I mean, building network control systems, software engineers. They're not famous, not to you, but to those in the industry who are creating and building things. These guys can be hot commodity items. You know, when you write a movie and your movie becomes a hit and you become known as the person who can write good movies, everybody wants you to write their movie. Look at Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre was considered one of the best music producers in history, and so was Quincy Jones. Now, you know Dr. Dre from his music, but Dr. Dre made more money from his music producing. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. From the O.J. Simpson case, you know, the lawyer became world renowned, and everybody wanted that lawyer after his case was done. See, people will pursue active fame because they feel like, well, put it like this. People will pursue active fame and money because it may come more quickly. And, you know, they'll put aside their morals if they know it will draw more people to them. Think about it. Why do you find on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter accounts that have sexual or explicit content that they're constantly growing? They're constantly growing. The more sexual and explicit the content is, the more people seem to follow it. Because everybody wants to be the new Instagram model, the new Instagram influencer, you know, because it's like everybody wants to be the face. Nobody wants to do behind the scenes. Because the behind the scenes, it's going to take you willing to master the craft of what you enjoy doing. Whereas the active means you do have to work at it, but you may not have to go through the educational process. You know what I'm saying? You may not have to, you don't have quite the learning curve as those who do in the intellectual creative fame area. Now, the thing about the intellectual creative fame is, I believe they have more longevity than the active fame. Because in the intellectual creative fame, you can create your own destiny. You can make your own opportunities. Whereas the active fame, you're really relying on somebody else to pick you up and utilize you. So let me ask you, what's the reason you would like to live that pop life or that glamorous life? Could it be that you just want to enjoy the luxury lifestyle? Could it be that you just want to be famous and you want people to know you? What is it that make you want to be famous? What is it that make you want to live that lifestyle? Could you get into that lifestyle and not get caught up in some of the things that most celebrities do, like drugs, abuse? You know what I'm saying? A lot of celebrities get into that and they trade off their culture. They trade off their history. You know, they basically disown, you know, their own race. And that is a big problem within the black community because a lot of black celebrities who feel like in order for them to get that pop life or to live that glamorous life, they have to distance themselves from the black community. And you heard me talk about that. That's why you got people like Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, who the black community has rejected. What are you willing to give up for that fame and fortune so you can have that active fame lifestyle? If you want to be the face of something, if you want that famous lifestyle, you need to make sure that you condition yourself to understand what comes with it and what do you want to give back from it. Because you want to be able to change the way fame and money alters a person's life to where your life is not altered. You want to remain in control of your destiny. Your destiny, let me get that right. All right? But we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back right after this message.
You're listening to the Simply Straight Talk Show, bringing you the best conversation on your morning, afternoon, and primetime drive. Hello, Simply Straight Talk family. If you are enjoying this episode, at the end of the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. And why not share this with a friend? Also, visit our blog at newlifenewmind.com, where you can find additional articles on more great topics. Stay tuned. The show will continue right after this message.
Are you ready for the straight truth? Reggie, what's the final word for today?
Hey everybody, I just want to say right now, thank you to everybody for checking us out today and staying with us on the show. But in today's final thoughts, man, I just want to say that I understand that everybody wants to live a better life. But when you're out there looking for that fame and that fortune, don't lose your morals. Don't give up on your heritage or your culture. Don't sacrifice who you are in order to appease other people for their attention. When you look at social media, one thing I talked about earlier in the show was the amount of sexual content, explicit content. When I'm talking about stuff like, you got a lot of women who feel like they really have to expose themselves or become really sexually suggestive in order to, really attract attention or build up their profiles. You got men doing the same thing, but you don't have to do that. Fame and fortune, if it's going to come to you, let it come to you the right way. Let it come to you without giving up who you are and betraying your beliefs. Let it come to you where you can keep your head up high. Where if you want to be an influencer, be able to influence people on a positive level that they can look at the content that you're putting out and feel like it's something truly relevant to them that's going to help them grow and prosper in life the right way. Because think about it. For every negative output you put out there, you got at least 3 to 4 kids who's actually able to see your content, who's going to start emulating your content, and you don't know what road that's going to lead them down. Don't be ashamed to be positive, to be aware, and to be alert, and not have to go through the extremes in order to get fame and fortune. Like I said, that pop life and that glamorous life, it looks nice. But keep in mind that a lot of these people that are on social media that are celebrities, when you see them wearing the fancy clothes and all this type stuff, the fancy cars, oftentimes that stuff is rented or they're doing that to promote their brand. They're promoting their business. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you understand that you don't put yourself in a situation in debt. You don't try to live a fake lifestyle, putting yourself at jeopardy, your name, your integrity, and your character, all so you can be notarized by people who really don't love you from the get-go. Hey, thank you for joining us today, man. I appreciate all of our supporters, everybody tuning in. Hey, y'all make sure y'all check us out, man, next Friday for more of the Simply Straight Talk Show.
That's this week's episode. Thank you for listening and being a part of the Simply Straight Talk podcast. We truly appreciate your support. Be sure to visit us at simplystraighttalk.com to join the conversation, access show notes, and discover our fantastic bonus content on Patreon. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to join us next week for another episode.